A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic turn of events, the Dutch government has collapsed following a rift over immigration policies that led far-right leader Geert Wilders to withdraw his Party for Freedom (PVV) from the ruling coalition. The announcement came on Tuesday as Wilders expressed his dissatisfaction with the coalition's lack of support for his proposed strict asylum measures. In a post translated by CNBC on the social media platform X, Wilders stated, "We had no choice. I promised the voter the strictest asylum policy ever, but that was not granted to you." This withdrawal marks a significant political shift in the Netherlands, where the PV had recently achieved a landslide victory in the 2023 general election, displacing former Prime Minister Mark Rutte's party from the top position. Despite the electoral success, the coalition, comprised of four major parties, chose Dick Schoof, the former head of the Netherlands Intelligence Service, as Prime Minister. However, conflicting views on immigration policies led to tensions within the coalition that ultimately resulted in Rutte stepping down as the longest-serving premier of the country. Wilders had previously warned that his party could leave the coalition if their proposals were not adopted. Let me be crystal clear. If the majority of our proposals from the 10-point asylum plan are not adopted by the coalition and implemented by the cabinet as soon as possible, then the PV will withdraw from this coalition, he stated over the weekend. The 10-point plan proposed by the PV aimed to significantly reduce immigration and included calls to halt asylum applications and temporarily stop family reunifications for those granted refugee status. Wilders argued that other European nations, such as Austria and Poland, were taking more decisive measures regarding immigration, and he felt the Netherlands was lagging behind. Despite the political turmoil, the Dutch economy has shown resilience, with growth projected at 1.5% this year, even as inflation remains above the euro area target at 4.1% as of April. However, the Dutch central bank has cautioned that rising geopolitical tensions could pose challenges to sustained economic growth. Coalition partners reacted with disbelief and anger to Wilders' decision to withdraw from the government, with Dylan Jesselgaas de Jarius, leader of Rutte's former party, criticizing Wilders for prioritizing his own agenda over the nation's needs. "He chooses his own ego and his own interests," she said, expressing astonishment at the move that she deemed irresponsible. Caroline van der Plas, leader of the Farmer Citizen Movement, BBB, echoed these sentiments, stating that Wilders had single-handedly caused the government's downfall. She criticized him for confusing governance with social media threats, labeling his actions as reckless and incomprehensible to those who sought change. The BBB further warned that the collapse of the government could lead to a prolonged period of stagnation, potentially allowing left-leaning parties to gain control and implement more lenient asylum policies. In the aftermath, opposition parties have already begun calling for elections, with Jimmy Dijk, leader of the Socialist Party, SP, asserting that the time for political change is now. The coalition's collapse not only creates uncertainty in Dutch politics but also raises questions about the future of defense spending, as discussions on a historic increase to meet NATO targets may be delayed. Wilders' coalition partners expressed frustration at his decision, with leaders stating that it undermined the government's ability to address pressing international challenges, including the ongoing war in Europe and potential economic crises. As the political landscape in the Netherlands continues to shift, the implications of this collapse will be felt both domestically and internationally. The country now faces the prospect of new elections, which could reshape its political future and influence its stance on critical issues such as immigration and defense policy. With the PVV's withdrawal, the remaining coalition parties have the option to attempt to govern as a minority, though this is seen as unlikely given the current climate. Wilders, despite his electoral success, has seen a decline in support since joining the government, with recent polls indicating that his party's popularity has waned. As the situation develops, all eyes will be on the Netherlands to see how this political upheaval unfolds and what it means for the broader European context. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.